Hello and welcome to my channel. This is going to be Game Week 4 predictions of the Premier League. Last week I got 9 points, and that brings me to a total of 22 points. And how to get the points and all that, it's going to be like a little rules right here. So let's begin with Southampton versus United. So last week United got embarrassed by Liverpool at Old Trafford, which I enjoyed as a City fan. But that should not be happening against Southampton. I feel like United are going to be able to come back from the Liverpool embarrassment. I think United wins 2-0. But I do have to say, if United lose, I think that may be the end of Ten Hag's United career. Next up is Liverpool versus Forest at Anfield. Liverpool is one of two teams who have all their points, and I feel like they will continue getting all their points here against Forest. Forest haven't been bad. They've been better than what people expected, and they sort of been doing what I expected them to do. I had them 15th in the Prem prediction, and I think they're around there, a little bit better right now. But this is Liverpool. They're going to be dropping points here. 2-0 for me. Next up is City versus Brentford. City, the other team to have picked up all their points, versus Brentford, who have been, I would say, hit or miss, sort of. Their only real outlet is Mbeumo and Wissa. They've been pretty good, but the rest of the team needs to pick it up. City, on the other hand, likes to concede, and I see it happen here again. But City's still winning, of course, and I'm gonna go with a 3-1 win to City. Next up is Fulham versus West Ham, which I consider a very even game. Considering it is at Fulham's home. Neither team really has had an impressive game. Fulham barely beating Leicester, losing to United in the last minutes, while West Ham getting scored on 3 times against City, and then not really being impressive or showing what they had against Villa. Saying all that, I do believe this is going to be a close match against these two, an entertaining one as well. I think I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. Next up is Crystal versus Leicester. Crystal, who have been unlucky with that Eze call, not being able to finish their shots against West Ham, and then that draw against Chelsea. And then Leicester, on the other hand, they've been scoring every game. They have scored every game, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. And now in this game, I feel like they will continue that. But I do see Crystal finally, I think, winning their first game, if I believe. They haven't won a game, so I do see them winning this one, finally picking up 3 points and pushing them up the table. Next up is Brighton versus Ipswich. Brighton in the top 4 in the league right now. Really impressive with the new manager, all the new players. Really great football from them. Ipswich as well have been quite impressive. I really thought they were going to be like Company's Burnley last season, but they actually are showing that they're not going to be that. They're more like Luton from last season, potentially being able to stay up this year. But they will be losing here. It is at Brighton's home, and Brighton are really impressive. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win for Brighton. Next up is Villa versus Everton. Villa haven't really been impressive in my opinion. The Arsenal game, they weren't finishing their shots. Watkins especially needs to pick it up. Everton, on the other hand, have been abysmal, disgusting to watch. They somehow lost I think it was 2-0 or 2-0 advantage against Bournemouth, and getting scored on 3 times in 10 minutes. That is shameful. Should not be happening. Villa is going to have a field day here, even though Villa haven't been impressive. Rodgers is probably the only one I really want to mention, because he's been really impressive in my opinion. So I think Villa's going to have fun with Everton. I'm going to say 4-0, and I'm going to enjoy it, because Everton need to go. It's time to go. Next up is Bournemouth versus Chelsea. And Bournemouth is actually the team that scored 3 on Everton. Really impressive being able to come back and showing that they're not gonna give up and getting all 3 points. Chelsea, on the other hand, you don't really know what you're gonna get from Chelsea. Tying to Crystal last week, but before that they scored 6 on Wolves. So yeah, I think Chelsea is a wild card, but to be fair, I think Bournemouth is too, since they did scrape that win against Everton. They did scrape the win against Forest, or the draw against Forest, I think. I can't remember. And then they drew against Newcastle, even though they should have won that one. So it's very hard to predict this game. I think it's safe to say 1-1 draw. Next up is the biggest game of the game week, and that's Spurs versus Arsenal at Spurs' home. Arsenal having a disadvantage being away, and also losing 2 key players in Rice with that red card against Brighton, and now Odegaard with the injury in the international games. So it's not looking good for them. But to be honest, Spurs aren't looking good. Spurs have 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. Very average, I guess you can say. Spurs also have some injuries, Solanke being one. We haven't been able to see what he's capable of. Van de Ven as well, but then they have Dragusin as backup, so it's not that bad. Not really sure what to expect in this game. Both teams missing players. Spurs at home, giving an advantage to Spurs. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Spurs, more because that's what I want to happen. And then the last game of the game week, we have Wolves versus Newcastle. Wolves have been bad. I'm pretty sure they're near the bottom of the table. They have not been playing good football. Gary O'Neill really needs to start cooking something, because it looks bad for them. Newcastle as well, I think they haven't been impressive. They are missing some players in Botman. Shar also missed the game, but Newcastle should be performing better, especially against Wolves here in this game. I still see Wolves scoring just 1, and then Newcastle ultimately winning with 2 goals. So yeah, that's my predictions for game week 4. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching.